We have a special guest
back.
Healthy Mummy, also known as Tiny Hiney. Got her hiney all the way over here.
Just arrived.
Uphill both ways.
Yep. Barefoot in the snow.
Just for you. If you are new to the channel, hello, my name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist. I'm the creator of the Slim on Starch program where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. Healthy Mummy was really my first client.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
We actually documented her experience on my channel so you can watch the whole Healthy Mummy series and see how she lowered her cholesterol and lost weight. She's gonna disappear if she keeps going. So check out that whole series. It's been a year since she has successfully done so, and here we are at her 1 year top 5 tips update. I texted her last night and I said, do you wanna come over tomorrow and film? And also, here's your homework. Please prepare your 5 top tips for how you've kept the weight off for a year.
Imagine.
And every time I see her, she gets skinnier and skinnier. Let's start at tip number 5.
Oh.
Gotta make them wait
Going
for
backwards.
it.
Okay.
And then we'll work down to your number 1 tip. So number 1 better be good.
Okay.
And you can scratch the one that says, have a lovely, charismatic, helpful daughter to help you through the journey.
Oh, yes. Well,
That's
a
on
given.
there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll have to think of
Yeah.
another on the
Scratch
fly.
that.
Let's start with number 5.
Okay, I would say number 5 would be to try and find a way to decrease your negative mindset. To keep negative thoughts at bay, always educating yourself, finding different ways to do things when you feel stuck. I think it's really important.
I think a lot of us are not aware of the voice inside our head.
I am.
Mine don't shut up. I always heard people say that, the voice inside your head, the voice inside your head. I'm like, what are the voice inside my head? There's no voice inside my head. And then I realized that's just a way to say your thoughts. The thoughts that you have are the voice inside your head. And I always assumed that my thoughts were fact. If I had a thought, that was that. But we can actually be aware of those negative thoughts and challenge them.
Right, watch the thinker.
So we are both very big fans of The Power of Now.
Yes, Eckhart Tolle.
Did you know he's coming to Boston, by the way?
No, you're
Yes.
kidding. Oh, we have to go. All right, awesome.
Do
I
this.
didn't know that.
Well, I'm very in the know about what's happening in this city. Separating ourselves from our mind, really,
Yeah.
and being in control of our mind and watching the way that our mind works and recognizing thought patterns. Can you identify, as you got started on this journey, any negative thought patterns that you may have had?
Well, sure. I think I started off as thinking that I had reached and surpassed menopause, and therefore it was all downhill. So what was the point in trying to get anything youthful, energetic back, because it was just, I was, on a downward trajectory, and that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah, I mean, your looks are gone, but your body is always...
Can you?
No, but seriously, you are... I was looking back at photos from pre-menopause, and you look like you look 10 years younger than you did then. And that was over 10 years ago.
Right. Solely really from this food that I'm putting in my body.
You and Dad are in the best health that I have ever seen you in my life.
I would have to agree.
I always say we can't think our way into acting. We can only act our way into thinking. So the only way that you'd ever believe that you could be in your best health after menopause is to actually get the results and see it.
Right.
So I have a lot of people who say to me, I'm not sure, is this gonna work? I don't know.
Oh, it's gonna work.
Well, yes, and you and I know that,
Yeah.
but the only way for them to believe it, you gotta just jump in.
Right. We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Tip number 4.
Tip number 4, to have a routine to stay active and limber. You don't have to train for a marathon, you don't have to take hot yoga classes, you don't have to join Orange Theory and go in Peloton crazy. But I do believe that you have to have a daily routine that incorporates some sort of activity, exercise, outdoor nature, yoga, meditation, something that keeps your mind and your body limber and alive.
Tell us about your routine.
My schedule, being a nurse, allows me to do this. I do meditate every single morning, followed by yoga, and then I do walk unless the weather is really impossible. I have every clothing item necessary to walk daily in New England.
How long are your walks?
I walk for 3 miles, so 45 minutes to an hour.
My heart aches for many of the people that ask about an exercise and they are doing these crazy things and these boot camps and this and that. It's the food. It really is the food.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dr. McDougall about that, and he said walking, it's normal human behavior.
Right. It most definitely is the food. I don't think you can exercise yourself into a good state of health.
Right.
if you're not eating well. Tip
Trace.
number 3. Okay, this is not huge, but it really, I think, affects your ability to succeed, and that is simply to wear comfortable clothing while you're going through this process, because if you're going to be jammed into these jeans that make you feel bloated and uncomfortable, you're going to just get frustrated.
That's a clever tip. Good on you. Clothes are meant to fit our body. Our body is not meant to fit clothes. I have a lot of clients who say, I really want to fit into that pair of jeans. And that's their motivation. And I usually challenge that because I think that's the tip of the iceberg of what they're really going for.
Right.
Why are you doing this program? Because I want to fit into my jeans.
Right.
And then we do what's called the 7 levels deep exercise. So I go, why do you want to fit into your jeans? And they answer, because when I'm sitting and hanging out with my family, I don't want to be thinking about my jeans pushing. And I go, why don't you want that? Because I want to enjoy the time with my family. Why do you want to enjoy the time with your family? Because they're not going to be around forever. So digging deep, deep, deep until we find what we're really going for here.
Right.
Because that, if you're thinking about your clothes while you're on this journey, it's just a huge distraction.
Definitely, most definitely. And just changing your mindset again to the negative, and you want to stay in the positive, forward thinking.
Right, and I always say we don't want to lose weight, we want to release it. When you lose something, you try to find it. And also, the goal here is health, not the aesthetics and weight loss.
Correct.
That's a clever tip.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right, number 2.
Okay, number 2 is key. It's to stock your fridge that you can go to for that when it's an hour till dinner and you're hungry, and this is where damage can get done. I brought them with me because when Emily called and said come early today, and I was in the middle of making my lunches, for the week, and they weren't ready yet,
so instead of saying, well, actually I'm in the middle of making my lunches, what I say goes. Right. You get over here.
So I had a container of boiled baby potatoes, and I had made some hummus. And I didn't even put a lid on the baby potatoes in the fridge. I just opened the fridge and I grabbed some, and I grabbed my homemade hummus when I'm ready to go. So
because we all sort of do this thing, I didn't even bat an eyelash when you came over. I saw you had a container of potatoes. I didn't even think twice about it. This is what we do.
I mean, it seems crazy, but if I get hungry, that's what I'm going to have.
Well, the quote, some people say a whole foods plant-based diet is extreme. What I say is extreme is open heart surgery.
Right.
That is extreme.
Right.
This is not extreme.
Right. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I was discharging a patient from the hospital the other day, which I rarely go downstairs and wait with them while their ride comes around because usually someone else does that, but I did this time. And I'm sitting there, and I've been at this hospital for a long time. I look around and I go, oh my God. Everyone looks so unwell. It just was so jarring to me after all these decades in this business, and how simple it is to stay healthy.
Well, I put that on Instagram yesterday, that Wayne State University is the first medical school to require plant-based nutrition.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere, slowly but surely.
It's so simple.
It is.
We're animals, and if you look at the aardvarks and the beavers and the cheetahs, they're not sick and unwell. Why are we? Health is not supposed to be complicated. We're just supposed to eat a natural diet.
Right. And as Dr. McDougall said, as soon as the Western diet went to China and the East, they developed the same health problems. So.
There's a common denominator here.
Yeah.
And as I talked about with Dr. McDougall, there's no expiration date on getting started.
No.
I asked him, I said, have you ever had a patient that was so far gone that they didn't respond? And he said no. And he's had thousands of patients.
Right.
Oh, I would like to talk about your food prep. You're doing it, today's Friday. What's that all about?
I'm working Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. And I was out of what I had already prepped. So rice or potatoes. Mostly I like rice. Whole grain, mixed grain rice I like. And I put in quinoa. And that's usually my starch base. Broccoli, butternut squash, mushrooms, zucchini, and then soup. I'm making soup today. So I doctor.
Ooh!
Yeah. The simplest thing for me to do is to doctor up a Dr. McDougall soup.
Oh, cool.
Soup isn't enough for me. I'll be hungry an hour after if I just eat a plain soup. But if I make a rice and quinoa and put that in, and then I have a whole assortment of frozen vegetables.
That is a fantastic idea. So you take a Dr. McDougall soup, you add in a starch to it, you add in more vegetables. So using that as your base, and it's lowering the sodium content of the overall meal as well.
Right. Now I've got 3 or 4 meals out of one box of soup.
She's not as dumb as she looks.
No.
Do you have a set prep day?
No, I don't. I'm so committed now.
Yeah.
It's such a way of life for me that...
Because Dad eats this way too. There's nothing in the house that's not compliant.
No, really.
That wasn't the case.
No.
But now that you're under my spell, that
your
place
watch.
is clean as a whistle.
It is.
All right, is this the number one?
I think it's number 1.
It better be good.
All right, now, This is gonna be so simple for you, but for me, it really took a long time to learn, is to eat foods with no labels. And my pivotal learning experience with this was plant-based, plant milk. Because I thought I was doing great. I would just go to Starbucks and get myself a latte or grab any old plant milk off the shelf. And then I realized what was in it, and I was shocked. All the chemicals and preservatives and additives. With very little investigative work and a phone call to Emily and some trips to Whole Foods, I now have brands that I know are the ones that I buy. It really does make a big difference because it's those hidden fats that for me personally are my downfall, that don't agree with me at all. So I don't eat peanut butters anymore or any of those things that are loaded with oil and fats.
I think it was Dr. Furman that says the thing to know about food labels is to eat food that doesn't have labels. Keeps things so simple. You don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, what is actually in this when you eat something that doesn't even require a label. I love that that's the number one tip because that's really the only tip you need to be successful.
It's important to say that you eat a plant-based diet and not a vegan diet, because a vegan diet takes you down that aisle in the grocery store where everything's labeled vegan, but it's really filled with things that are probably not very good for your body.
Yeah, I mean, Oreos are vegan. So how about we do this? If you made it to the end of the video, you get a reward. You can leave a question and we will do a Q&A answering all the questions that are down below.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Emmie.
All right, you know what to do. I love you, honeys. I'll see you in my next video. Mwah!